time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the STONED for the STONED Roadie Show, and it's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
Drum Roadie Show, podcast 303. Action. Alrighty then, fellow Stone Roadie Dimension. Looky here. It's Monday, and it's April 21st, 2025. And it's another Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 172. And it's Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, in my dimension, number 6. And what the heck are we going to talk about on this episode of the Stone Roadie Show there, Griff? Oh, yeah, this is my co-host and co-pilot and the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what the heck are we going to talk about there, Griff Martin?
Well, yesterday was Easter Sunday, and it was 420. And so Craig, that was for Craig. That lined up really nice for him. And where'd you get that hat, Craig? You kind of look like Festus on Gunsmoke.
There's a little story behind this hat. This hat, somebody threw this hat up on stage, God, 40 years ago or
Oh,
something.
really?
Yeah, and I've had it, and it was all messed up. And when they had it, it was a hillbilly hat. Some big old hillbilly had it, and this part wasn't creased in. This was all puffed up, and it came into a round thing, and this was all floppy, and it came out like this. And I wore this hat for years and years and years, mowing my lawn and my fields with the brush hog and stuff. I always went out there, and when I get on my mower out by the road, I would wear this so I look like a big hillbilly. It'd be my hillbilly hat. So it was sitting out there, and I decided I'd try to form it. And it formed out pretty good. I kind of like it. It's a nice hat. It's big on me even. I gotta wear a bandana on it.
Like Brett Michaels. And it's kind of like, yeah.
So it'll fit me. But it's good when I'm mowing because the bandana gets wet, when I sweat. But yeah, it's really guards the sun. But yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Somebody threw that up on stage hoping Ronnie would put it on, and instead they got Craig to put it on later.
No, somebody threw it in my cases. And it was in there. It was all crumpled up.
Oh, it wasn't a fan. It wasn't a fan threw it up on stage.
A fan threw it up on stage. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a fan threw it up there. But and somebody, it threw it up on stage, and then one of the road guys threw it in my case, and it was in there getting all crumped up and stuff.
Was that in the 70s?
No. It was. During the Skynyrd tribute tour stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was 30 years ago at least 30 or 35 or 40 years ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I've had this hat for years and years and years.
Yeah, some dude, he don't even know where that hat is now, and then little does he know that the roadie's wearing it on his podcast
40
now.
years later. Yeah,
it could be one of our listeners see that
it
hat
could be, but it looks totally
bitch.
different than when he had it.
That would be something.
It looks totally different.
Is that the original hat band?
No, no, that's all
okay.
part of my. I got to get some more hat bands. I had a bunch of them. I can't. They're somewhere. I can't.
Well, somebody will hear you, and they'll just send it to you.
I got more hats than
and
I
they'll
have
probably wrap it up in some hash.
Yeah. It was a hillbilly hat. I had to put my what do they call that stuff? Stiffener. Yeah, there's hat stiffener. You spray
Starch? You mean starch?
It's like hairspray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't stay up. It wouldn't stay up like that before I put that stuff on it. Yeah, it's like hat stiffener. And then I had to put it on. I had to steam it and then put that stuff on there and re-steam it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of work, but I did a pretty good job on it.
Yeah, it looks
Pretty good with that.
you could actually be on Gunsmoke in the background with a bottle of whiskey or something over there, or at the bar or at the poker table, and nobody even know any different.
Oh, this thing's got some stains on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
And,
that's the story about this hat. Yeah.
Then now you tell everybody about your everybody thinks you've been screwing off, but you got a whole stack of damn stickers all loaded up into
Well, my
envelopes.
car's still in the Lexus shop after 2.5 weeks. The guy said he had the part in. Said it'll be done Wednesday. Said, yeah, we got the part in. It'll be done Wednesday. And then I called him. I goes, I didn't know you were gonna. Maybe I thought maybe you were gonna call me when it was done. He goes, well, yeah, we had something that we had to get done in front of yours, some regular customer.
Did he tell you how much it's going to cost?
Oh yeah, he did. Well, they got to put a new fuse box in it. That's $2,100, I think. And then they're going to put, I need a new battery, but normally a battery is about $150, but I imagine at the Lexus dealer it's going to be about $250. But I wanted them to make sure it was right.
So what's going to end up to be about $2,500?
$2,500. About 20.
Yeah, and what did I say?
About 2,400.
I said, what did I say?
3,400.
I said.
I
34?
think. What's her name? Kimmy. Kimmy said 2,350. I think so.
She did. Kimmy did.
And she's about right on the money, man. She's about right on the money. I think she said 2,350.
What did Kimmy
She's
say?
about right on the money.
I have I got her thing written down in here from last week. Maybe I tore it up and threw it in the trash. But well, we knew it was going to be thousands of dollars.
Oh,
But,
God.
Yeah, Chip Crewy said it was going to be 2,795, and Kimmy said 3,101.
Oh, Simmy said 3,100. Oh, so
Yeah,
Chip
I thought I was the one that said 2,400. That's
No,
all
you
right.
said 3,400, I think.
Yeah, I was just shooting high, so it wouldn't be that high. But like I was saying, Craig, show them the stack of envelopes you got, man, of all the stickers you got ready to mail out.
Yeah, I'll read them off. And some people wrote it. Oh, God, looky here. I see y'all out there.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, some people send in money, and the only reason I might not have your name down is you send in money and then ask me for a sticker, and I forgot to mark you down for a sticker. But these are
So you got a
these are
whole
all the
stack
envelopes
with everybody's address on it, and
with all the addresses.
what's in there? A sticker
Uh,
and a card.
I sent everybody extra stickers, and then I thought it was amusing that I just found out that somebody's selling these Rossington Collins stage manager. Now the ones that they're selling for $125, are say production manager, and I haven't sold any of these. So if you got one of these that says stage manager, you got it on the Stone Roadie show, because
Well,
I've sold these on eBay, and I normally get $50 for one. And I tell everybody, I said, who do you know that can sell their autograph for $50? But when they do, they're buying the business card, but then I sign it on the back.
Yep.
So like I always do though, well, not really, not some of the ones I sold on eBay. I didn't do this, but actually when I do them, lately I've been doing this. So if you put it in some kind of a scrapbook or something like that, you can see the front and then you can see the back where I signed it. And then if you don't like that signature, you can flip it over and I signed the other side. So you get 2 signed cards. You get 2 signed cards and 2 regular cards. Well, you get the point. But anyways, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you just turned around and sold them, you know. I'd like to see how much you can get for them. Yeah. It's like Gary's funeral brochure.
Or you could keep one and sell one.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Yeah, if you're not going to put them in a frame and display them from everybody, just sell one. They're selling for $125. Well, they're listed for $125. They're not selling for that much.
So you got a sticker and 2 cards.
Yeah, for $25 you're getting at least 2 stickers. Some people are getting extra ones because they've been extra nice to me, so I sent them extra ones. But then I decided, I said, well, since I'm giving everybody these for the stickers, now I got to turn around and give everybody one of these who won the drawings. So I got all these. They're all printed out, and those are
letters of authenticity.
Letters of authenticity that you won these on the drawing on the Stone Roadie show. Oh, but I forgot to read these off.
Yeah, you got to read those names.
Okay. Billy Luttrell.
This is the stickers.
Yeah. George Zeelenball. Teepee. Rusty Arrington. James King. Oh, I got Rusty Arrington in there twice. Huh. Well, you're only sending you one. Angela Leonard. Danny Barron. Denise Soares, Chris Eldridge, John and Philomena Morrow, Douglas Moore, Brian Madison, Tom Bazinet, Lynn Jacobs Cumby, Brian Dugas, Alan Rosemeyer, and Lori Shoemaker. These are all going out. I'd already sent them out, but I don't have a car to get to the dang post office. Actually, it's a good thing that I didn't, because I was only going to sign those cards on one side, but today I decided to sign them on both sides. So it's like the longer the wait, the better the gift, I guess. I don't know.
And then do you have everybody's name on the letters of authenticity?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And I counted up on all these things that I'm signing and sending out, and with the stickers and all these and all the other stuff that I'm signing. I got to sign 200 things. All the kazoos and all the there's 3 or 4 different pictures and all that crap. Yeah. There's 200 signatures I'm putting out.
Yeah, and before you read those off, Craig, people that just started watching the podcast might be saying, "What the hell are they talking about?" Well, Craig, we had a contest where we gave some stuff away that Craig had that was on the plane. One of them was a coin. And then he's got some pictures and some memorabilia and some things like that. And Craig was supposed to mail that stuff out a long time ago, and he's just kind of dilly-dallying. But then some people bought some stickers, which those stickers, they came from, who'd they come from, Craig?
Clayton Johnson.
Clayton Johnson,
from Bill Graham Productions, yeah.
And so Craig just kind of telling everybody.
This is the only place you can get those. If you didn't get them from here, you ain't got one.
Yeah. Yeah, they're new old stock, actually. Yeah. So Craig's getting around to it, man. You people that, called Craig an asshole and a crook. And,
well, that's what I am. But, everybody was only supposed to get the coin and one prize per week. And I didn't send anything out because I'm a no good lying, cheating, crooked.
Yeah, you had a lot of people that.
What else am I?
Well, it was only 3 people, Craig, that lost it, and 2 of them I think have completely gone now. And there's one guy, he came back and he said, "Man, I was just having a bad day." Then we had another guy. I don't think he was in the contest, and he just unloaded on the survivors. He's like, and now he's denying it, said that wasn't him.
What am I?
Oh, you're a crook, a slacker.
Slacker, there you go.
Yeah, you're a crook, a liar,
a liar. What else am I? I'm mentally ill.
Well, you're a fat shamer.
I'm a fat shamer. Yeah. Oh, since we're on that subject.
Oh hell!
I'm. You guys fat shaming me. Telling me that I had a roll on my belly, which I kind of do. But I ain't got nothing over here, but I had some stuff over here. But actually, I got to where I was eating twice a day, and I usually fast 24 hours a day, but I got to where I was not eating enough, and I was eating berries and strawberries and bananas, and I was mixing it with cereal and oatmeal and stuff in the morning, so that meant I was eating twice a day, and somehow I gained some weight. I don't know what it was, the oatmeal or whatever or something. So,
oatmeal.
I did have a little dicky do or whatever. So I was grabbing it here, But today, it's been it's 51 hours. I haven't eaten in 51 hours. I'm going for 72 hours. I'm going for 3 days fasting.
Oh, you're on the Gene Hackman diet.
Yeah, I'm not even hungry, yeah. Yeah, I'm about 50 some hours into it now, but I'm going for 72. I used to fast for 3 days all the time, but I've fasted for 2 days a few times in the few last months, but I haven't gone for 3.
Yeah, Craig was telling me about how he was fasting and all that, and I said, well, there's a new study out. They say that's really hard on your heart. And so all that, and then we were like, well, that just gives all these fat people an excuse to start eating again.
To go do Ozempic, yeah. The other day I was listening to somebody going, that Ozempic came out and millions of people started injecting them stuff with that shit.
Yeah.
So that they could lose weight without thinking about it or would have to do anything themselves. So they could eat a pill to do it for them. But it's not eating a pill, it's injections, and those things are bad on you. And God, I might be mentally ill, but God, I wouldn't inject my stuff to something that somebody's selling to make you not eat. God, I might be mentally ill, but all I got to do is tell myself not to eat, and I can convince myself not to eat. I don't know why you geniuses can't do it. God, I think you're so damn smart you can't even control what you're own thinking, or you're eating. I mean, 80%, hold on a minute. 80% of you are.
I don't know. I don't imagine my audience is much more different than normal, regular people. 80% of people out there are fat, so I imagine 80% of people watching are fat. So,
but I was watching Kid Rock today on Theo Vaughn, and it was like from a year ago. But he was talking about his workout when he got up in the morning. What he gets up like 4:30 in the morning and starts his day, and then he does this big workout routine because he takes his shirt off during his show, you know. So he says, man, once he says, you really got to get it together, man. When he said, everybody knows I used to be a partier and stuff, because there's a time in your life you got to give that up, man, because the time is now. And he's like, man, he does a serious workout routine. And Theo said, I imagine a lot of women in the crowd are in shape like you. And he went, he goes, my merchandising, my T-shirts, he said, most of the T-shirts that I sell women are extra large at my shows. Yeah. God bless them, but, yeah.
Well, that's because they have big breasts. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you. They got, see, man, I got to have room for my breasts, which could be true,
Yeah, right.
Well, because, I sell T-shirts, and a lot of girls that buy them, they're not necessarily fat, but, you got to make some boob room, man. That is, you don't want that pressing on you. So in defense of the ladies,
okay,
you got the boob factor.
Okay, enough fat shaming here. We'll get back to business. Get back to business here.
Did you read? You read?
No, I didn't read these. I didn't.
Oh,
read
okay,
these.
Yeah.
So, anyways, here we go. This 1976 bicentennial $50 from my coin collection that I had with me at the time of the Lynyrd Skynyrd airplane crash, presented to Mike Stallings for winning one of the drawings on the Stoned Roadie show with number 79.
Sweet.
They all say the same thing, except this one says Laura Harvey with number 43. And this one says Robert Grubin with number 53. And this one says Paul Keaton. Hey, Paul, I need your address. I might have asked before and you might have sent it, but you're the only one I don't have your address. And you're number 143. And Denise Soares, you're number 17. And Matt Kelly, you're number 87. And Latina Burin, you're number 98. And Jimmy J. Smith, you're number 3. And I'm assuming your last name is Smith, Jimmy J., because that's what it's coming up on most of my stuff. So I think your name is Smith. I'm pretty sure, but you're number 3. And Jim Jenkins, he's number 2. And Jerry Dodson, he's number 86. And Janet Green, you're number 47. James Dolan, 152. Jack West, number 4. Homer Hancock, number 48. Chuck Smith, Wheelchair Chuck, number 77. And Chip Cruey, number 22. And I don't have George. George, you know who you are. Yours ain't in here, but I know who you are. George, it was George's Lawn Service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
he was like the first one to win.
Yeah. Yours is over there. Yeah.
Yeah, that don't sound good, George. You might get left out somehow. I got a bad feeling. I'll try to keep reminding him about.
No. I know George. I've talked to George. George invited me over to place over there. He's got a boat and motorcycles, and he goes deep. He's over in New Jersey. Goes deep sea fishing and stuff. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, and all those names sound familiar, and you're now one step closer to getting your prize.
Yeah, those.
But you said
those are going out like Monday.
You have to sign 400 signatures or something.
200
200?
With all the stuff with the Craig Reed on the Stone Roadie on heroin and me on the sitting by my Mercedes. See, I got to write on there the Stone Roadie Craig Reed. I just don't sign my name. And then there's another one. What was that other one? There's
kazoo.
The kazoo, but there's another picture too.
It's the Hell House picture, right?
Well, yeah. I might have to send that in a separate thing now that because
you can't roll them all up and put them in a tube.
I don't know if I can roll all these pictures up in that box or not.
Yeah, I think you could.
I hope I can. So, anyways, yeah, that's where we stand with that. Yeah, but we're one step closer. Yeah, since I don't have my car and we're only doing these once a week, I don't have all my time's not been taken up. So So you've been taking advantage of this once a week, and then not being able to go anywhere. So well, I volunteered to do this stuff. I came out of retirement to do this stuff. And everybody wanted me to write a book. Oh yeah, well I'll talk about that later. But yeah, everybody wanted me to write a book, and then I said I don't want to write a book. And then somebody wanted me to do a podcast. I said I'll do that, and then they backed out. And then Griff said he would do it. So, God, we've turned out from doing a dozen or so podcasts, and this is 302.
303.
303, yeah. And and then we started all this donation stuff, and then we started these giveaways, and I got brain damage, and it just got to be got ahead of me, so.
Yeah, and we've raised through all the subscribers and donations, and
yeah, we've given away 30-some thousand $50,000.
50,000.
30. No, yeah, 47,000 we've given.
Yeah, something like almost close to 50,000.
Yeah,
which ain't a lot of money for 5 people to split, but it's better than nothing. But and we still take donations.
Well, we haven't given away that much yet. We've taken in that much. We've given away whatever we see. We sent out 36,000 last year, and then we sent everybody 1,000, and then we sent Gene Odom 2,000, and
yeah, you've got it all written down.
And then we sent Gene some money. So yeah.
Yeah, so
a little bit coming though.
So we are still accepting donations, and if anybody wants to send a donation to, it could go to any one that you pick of the 5 survivors that we help out, which is Gene Odom, and we've got Mark Frank, Mark Howard, Paul Welch, and Leslie Hawkins. So
I do have a good system for accounting for the money, and all the money is accounted for. Everything that's been sent in has been sent out. So I might be delinquent in my duties as far as these giveaways and stuff, but I keep track of that money.
Yeah, and then we're also taking money still for Randall Hall, if anybody wants.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah. While we're on that, yeah. Corey Polk said he'd give $65 for the extra large rated X red shirt. And Jimmy J started bidding with 40. So Jimmy J, you've been outbid by Corey Polk. He's bid $65. on this Rated X shirt here.
Yeah, and Alan
Alan.
Collins was the only one that wore that, wasn't it, Craig? Wasn't it just Alan that wore that?
I think Ronnie wore one. I think I saw one picture, and we also got a medium in this with this shirt too. I've only got two of them. I got an extra large and a medium with Rated X. And we don't have any bids on the medium yet. I don't think. I haven't really looked at the emails yet.
Yeah, those are a bunch of Kid Rock fans. That's why.
And then we got two of these in a medium. The Gary Rossington face shirt. I think Ronnie used to wear this one every now and then too.
So anybody wants to interested in the shirts, and it's thestonedroadie@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'll put up my thing here. I'll change this. That's been up long enough to make it on my thumbnail.
Yeah, it looks like Ronnie's got a little bit of a double chin right there in that picture, man. He was. That's probably when he had that New Jersey vagina. Gene says. Which somebody in the comments said, Craig, you look like you have a New Jersey vagina. And that was a Facebook thing that I put up with Craig saying Happy Easter, Happy 420 Easter. So there you go. The StoneRoadie@gmail.com and Craig Reed, P.O. Box 442, Green, Ohio 44232. And you can and I've got merchandise, and you guys can go to the Griff Martin files and look at the merchandise video that I've got on there. I sell shirts, and I got stuff on there, and hadn't been getting a lot of inquiries on that lately. But people are broke right now. But we got our normal comments. Anything else you want to talk about, Craig?
Kathy Godsey is another grandma. A couple days
Oh, yeah,
ago,
congratulations,
she had another grandbaby. Kathy Godsey did. Happy.
Yeah. How cool is that? When was the baby born?
I was a couple, 2-3 days ago. She first posted it on Facebook that she was a new grandmother. She's got two now.
And another thing I'll mention too is I've been telling everybody that I've been wanting to talk to Joe Crimp and get him to people that don't know Joe Crimp. Joe Crimp was a member of the band Slowpoke and Running Easy, and Slowpoke used to tour with Skynyrd, and Joe was in the Hell House practicing with Skynyrd in his own band Slowpoke, and they shared Hell House. And so that one song about the oak tree, You're in My Way, that Ronnie wrote about Gary hitting the oak tree, Joe was in the car with Gary when that happened, and I talked to Joe, and he says, absolutely, Griff, yes. We will go over there and videotape what happened that night. And what it was, there was a big event at the Teen Club there in Jacksonville, and I don't think Skynyrd was playing. I forget who was playing there. Joe told me, but there's just a lot of people there. And Joe said him and Gary were wrestling around out in the grass. Can you imagine that? Those guys used to wrestle all the time. Did they ever wrestle all the time around you, Craig?
Not really, no.
Yeah, he said him and Gary, they were wrestling, and they were all drunk, and then they wanted to go somewhere else, and then I think it was to Gary's house, and then Joe got in the car with him, and then actually they hit a telephone pole instead of an oak tree and ended up in a friend of theirs, coincidentally, in his carport, which was a good thing because he knew him, and they didn't go to jail because he knew him. So, yeah, Joe, I'm going to go do an On the Road with Griff Martin, and I'm going to pick Joe up, and maybe Derek Hess will be there because he's going to call Derek. He needs to talk to him because it was Derek's buddy and Joe's friend too, that owned the house where they ended up in the carport. But Derek worked with him at the music store, and Derek heard the whole story the next day from the guy who belonged to the house. So yeah, it's a whole it's a whole big story, and that's the reason I wanted to go to Jacksonville and get it on tape, so we'll have that for future listeners, future fans of Lynyrd Skynyrd. So yeah, we can go jump into the comments now, Craig. You ready for some comments and questions?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have a whole lot of questions about Skynyrd,
and
but there's some.
Mary Filing is the one that sent those.
The shirts?
That's where those T-shirts came from. Yeah, she runs the RCB fan page or fan whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah, and we were talking about Kathy Godsey and her congratulations to her grandkids. Well, LS Freebird mentioned, thank you, Kathy, for putting up those videos of the APB band with Bo Bison. There's probably about 10 videos that she put up of Artimus Pyle, and if anybody doesn't know it, he's going to have Barry Lee Harwood playing with him, and Bo Bison are their new band members. And so you guys want to go see those guys, man. I'm not going to miss that. I'm definitely going to be there for that. So, and LS Freebird says she's seen them many times, but she's going to see them twice this year. I'm definitely going to go see them once. There, Lori Shoemaker, LS Freebird, which is kind of weird. Her initials to her name is LS. And she's a huge. I've seen pictures of her. I think she met every one of the band members. I mean, she's been a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan ever since she was a teenager. Just and she's got pictures with them, and yeah, she's a huge Skynyrd fan. So yeah, you guys go check Artimus Pyle band. You know, they were already good. And I can't imagine how much more better. I mean, old Bo Bice singing, you know, American Idol. Now, how cool is that? How much cooler can that get? And then you got Barry Lee. I wonder what parts Barry Lee will be playing. You
Don't know,
Craig.
You
think they'll be doing some Rossington Collins stuff?
I don't know. I don't know who. Which...
I have to send old Barry a text. You know, I've got his phone number. I could send him a text and say, "Hey, man, you know, just heard about the good news. Can't wait to see you on the road." So yeah, I'll do that, and I'll get back with you guys.
There's that sticker that we're selling too. I still have those stickers. Now that I'm caught up, we'll start selling these stickers again.
Oh yeah, but you got to get those other ones out first, Craig, because yeah, that put a hindrance in you right there, man. That about sidetrack you. We don't want to sidetrack you.
Stickers are easy. That's why it's taking me so long.
Oh, Scooter Weed.
You're not getting no business cards anymore. You're just getting the stickers.
Oh, Scooter Weed says you're getting a belly from smoking too much weed, is what Scooter Weed's thinking. But, yeah, you were, and then old Sammy Joe says Gene's a dancing fool. I didn't get a whole lot of comments when I put Gene's dancing video up at the beginning of the last podcast. Gene out there cutting a rug in front of everybody. You know, what's that, Craig? Is that Leslie and
Cassie and Leslie?
Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a picture you took?
No.
Yeah, that's a hilarious Gene out there dancing. Now that
this
video,
would have been during the 6 shows of the Survivor tour when JoJo wasn't there.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where JoJo was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been the Survivor tour.
And that video of Gene dancing, Jimmy Withers took that video, so he gets the credit for that. And I've been trying to get that from him for years, and he won't give it to me. And he says a lot of times it gets lost, and so I just went ahead and stole it. And because everybody needs to enjoy that. Gene's a good dancer, man. And he said, man, I can't do that anymore. Gene said he can't dance like that anymore. That was probably only about, I don't know, that might have been 10 years ago. Who knows? And Winslow Red Cross says, looking forward to Steve Reynolds and the Old Fay tune. So, yeah, I'm going to go. That's not going to be this time, though, Winslow. Steve's still getting his stuff together, but I'm going up there the 25th, and I'm gonna see some friends up there in Jacksonville, and then I'm gonna get with Joe. Hopefully, everything works out, and the creek don't rise, and Joe can still make it. Then in a couple weeks, I'll have that on the road with Griff Martin and the oak tree. You're in my way. Telephone pole, you're in my way. So yeah, and Jeff says, Craig, I want to see a coffee table book with all of your great pictures in it. Chop, chop. That would be good, man, if you like pictures like that right there. You get all your pictures together and then just...
Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me. I started to talk about a book. My niece wrote a book, and she called me a couple of days ago and said, Craig, I finally got a hold of the people at Kindle and Amazon. She's selling her book on Amazon. And she said the people at Kindle said, my book's doing great. She goes, but I'm not making any money. And and she said, ask me, I said, man, I've never written a book, but I know my buddy John, has and dealt with it. And so I asked him, and he goes, Craig, that's what's happening these days. People write books, and he goes, you send them to a publisher, and you send them the thing, and all somebody needs is a thumb drive, and they've got your book. He said, but the publisher, whoever prints those books, there's no record of how many books they print. And the guy that's printing your books can take them home and sell them on eBay as a used book, and there's no way to prove anything. He said it's happening all over. It's the book. Writing a book just sucks these days.
Maybe that's why Ed King's wife hasn't put that book out yet.
Yeah, it's you can't sell them on. Even John told me even Carolyn has quit selling Ron's book on Amazon.
So you're talking about Ron Eckerman's wife,
Ron
Carolyn.
Eckerman's book.
Because she had to finish. She had to finish the book because he died, right?
Mm-hmm. And then the audio book, but Ron really wanted John, my buddy John Neal, to help him. Well, John helped him with the book. John's a pretty good writer too. Never written. Well, he has written a thing about the Waterloo Wonders. He was involved with the Waterloo Wonders. The Waterloo Wonders was a basketball team.
Oh, basketball.
From right around Portsmouth, where he lives, and he was involved with the guy that did that book, Waterloo Wonders. But anyway, so Ron, on the audio part of that, Ron did like 26 different voices. He would do Billy, and he'd do Leon, and he would just do a Artimus, and he would do a different voice for everybody. When somebody would tell he'd say, "Why did you do that, Gary?" "Well, I don't know." He would do a voice. And he was trying to win an Emmy or something for voiceovers. So that's kind of why he did the book. So he wanted John to make sure that he would push the audio part of that book, because Carolyn wasn't really into it.
I have heard some of it, but the only part I heard was when he was talking about you. When he was
he does. But there's a part on there where he talks about, I think he tells the first story about the plane. I don't know. I don't remember what's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, he does. He talks about
it's on YouTube. It's a good, but I put when I'm traveling somewhere in my car and long distances, it's like 12 or 13 CDs, So yeah, I'll put it on and listen to it the whole.
You could probably buy it off of Amazon.
You can, and it sells better than the book.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, the
next time
audio
I take a
program is
trip.
real cool because, like I said, it's Ron narrating the whole thing. He done a bunch of it. It's very interesting, just to sit and listen to it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where I'm at with the book thing, and thanks
Yeah.
I've talked about doing
Well-
a coffee table thing with a bunch
Well,
of
if it was just pictures, it'd be probably they could still steal it, but it'd be hell of a lot easier to do. You just have to have a little one line of what the picture is, where it was taken, and stuff like that.
people still. It's like these business cards, man. I mean, it's not that the set list I'm selling. Pawn Stars is copying my set list and putting right on they're selling my set list along with a copy of the poster from Lakeland. They're copies, and they put right in, and they're framing it and selling it for $600. And it's a copy of my set list, and it says, and there's a plaque in there that said this is a copy of a set list that was on the airplane.
Yeah. Money's money. I don't know. I mean, could you do anything about that? I don't know.
I don't care. From now on, when I sell one, I don't have that many left. And now, from now on, when I sell one, I'm gonna stamp it, with my
with your
corporate stamp.
Survivors film.
Yeah. Anybody that's bought one off of me, send it to me, and I'll put my corporate stamp on it.
Did you stamp those letters of authenticity that you
I
wrote
did
out?
stamp. They're all stamped.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, all my documents of authenticity have all been Survivor films. These ones here are the only ones I've ever done that say the STONED Roadie Show.
All righty then. Oh, that's okay. Back to the comments here, and then David Hester. We last week I put on there that video of you getting rejected when you went backstage to get on, when you went to the back gate to get.
Oh, really?
When Skynyrd was in town, and David Hester says, "Yeah, the new Skynyrd treats Craig the same way the current Styx treats Dennis D. Young." Yeah, I heard old Dennis D. Young turned out to be, a little difficult, but who knows the real truth on that. But yeah, Craig, he went to a Skynyrd concert. It was 30 minutes from your house?
Not even that, man.
15,
20 minutes from my
And you
house.
went to the back gate and you told him, "Hey man, I'm Craig Reed."
I was back there signing autographs, man. They all I told them who I was and everything, and they were getting me to. I was back there signing autographs. I took my video camera with me, because I had a suspicion that I would go back there and they would tell me that I wasn't allowed in.
Yeah, you knew that.
The manager. I used to work theatrical stagehand union, and Skynyrd played at Blossom, so I went up there and I was a stagehand. And the manager seen me working and tried to get the union store to have me thrown off the premises just for being there. Yeah, and he goes, friend of mine, he goes, "Man, he's not here to visit you guys. He's here to work. I'm not sending him home. He's here to work. I can't replace him."
Was he on the bus when you peed on everybody? Did he
No,
get pee on him?
I was on the crew bus. I was on the crew bus.
Well, what's he got stuck in his craw about you, Craig?
I was with the old band. He does. Yeah, that's just the way. Anybody that has anything to do with the old band, they don't want any part of them.
Really?
His kids, Leon's kids, yeah. Artemis's kids, my kids. Yeah,
it's not the old band.
Johnny and Chad used to be best of friends for 50 years, and all of a sudden he won't talk to Chad.
Yeah, it's something going on there, man. Well, it could be.
Chad's kind of heard about it, man. Him and Chad were friends for 50 years. Johnny used to call him all the time, and they were.
Yeah, he says he's called him, and he won't return his call.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's going on, man? You never know. You might have pissed somebody off over there, Craig, with something, like maybe you sold a funeral brochure and it pissed somebody
Well,
off.
Chad didn't do nothing.
No, no, but you're his dad, and that's all. Sometimes all it takes.
It's like me and Dale used to be.
Guilt by association.
Me and Dale used to be really, really good friends, and it's like.
Well, she's not. I'm sure she's not mad. If she's not mad at Gene, she's not mad at you. Because Gene just saw her at the graveyard not too long ago, and they had a nice conversation.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Gene was out there when he. I think he just got through peeing on Gary's grave when she pulled up.
She wasn't too
Gene used to say
cordial toward me at the Gary's funeral. Of course, she was in another world down there.
Yeah,
But
Gene used
her
to
daughters
say,
were nice to me. Mary and Annie, they saw me at the funeral. Go, Mom, it's Craig Reed.
Well, you got to remember she was, at her husband's
Yeah,
funeral.
yeah, she was out.
She wasn't in the right frame of mind.
But I saw her at the cemetery later, and she was,
Yeah, so Gene used to say all the time, told Gary, he said, I told Gary I was going to piss on his grave, and I'm a man of my word. But the thing about it is, if you're out there with Gene at the cemetery, the first thing he does, he goes over to Gary's grave and starts picking trash up and pulling weeds, and he cleans up around his grave. So I think he's just trying to, just be funny about it. I don't think he really did it. Let me see here. Oh, there's a question here for you, Craig. Bob C. wants to know, in a video that he saw, several videos where Billy Powell is playing his piano, he's got a small box on top of his piano with like 4 knobs on it, and he sees sometimes Billy's messing with it. Wants to know if you know what that is, Craig.
Yeah, that's the volume. Each one of the pickups inside the piano. There's what, 80.
Probably a bass volume and
there's 88 keys in there, and there's a dozen of them are taken up by one pickup, and then this section's another pickup, and this section's another pickup. There's like 4 or 5 knobs on it, but yeah, it's all a different pickup. He just adjusts
just kind of like what you do with your guitar. Whenever you're playing your guitar, you turn whatever pickup you want to use.
Yeah, it's just different pickups.
I wonder if Peter Keys uses that.
I don't know what. No, he's not even using a piano. He's using an electric piano. It's just a great big piano up there, and then they stick an electric piano in it. There's no string. That's just a shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a shell.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah, that thing weighs about. It's a great big piano, but it's just there's an electric keyboard. Yeah, you don't have to tune it every day.
Yeah, that saves money. They're all about saving money.
It looks like Billy's white piano up there, but it
sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess that's the main
I would
thing.
imagine if Billy were alive today, that's what they would be using, the shell.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that was old school back then,
That's all there was, yeah.
And didn't you say he had a little Wurlitzer or something to begin with?
Wurlitzer, 50-some keys.
In Hell House?
Yeah. It wasn't even a Rhodes. A lot of people used those Fender Rhodes, but he used that Wurlitzer. It was just a little.
And when I go see Joe, I'm going to take a picture of his drums. His blue drums, and I don't know if he's going to have them. He might have them packed up. He's got a picture of them somewhere. But those drums have been in Hell House, and I'm sure at one time or another, either it could have been anybody that was messing around on his drums. I guarantee you Ronnie probably sat down and tapped out a few little tunes in there. Or
I
something,
never
you
saw
know?
Ronnie sit at a piano.
No, I'm talking about the
did.
Joe's drum set. When it
Oh,
was
I
set
never
out.
seen Ronnie try to play.
No.
No, never did.
Vance Owen says, Craig, do not lift your shirt again, please. It looks like Jabba the Hutt's younger son.
Yeah. Give me a couple of months. I'll have that shaved down. I'll
Well,
get
it
that.
looked, it wasn't fat. It just looked like, almost like, old man belly. We don't want to see old man belly. I ain't gonna pull my shirt up and show. I mean, we're not talking
I
Rick
think my
Springfield.
skin will still stretch. I don't
Oh,
know.
Rick Springfield's got a washboard belly, and he's 75 or something like that. Man, on tour, he don't wear a shirt.
You made me self-conscious of it. Now I'm going to try to get rid of it. I haven't eaten for 2.5 days.
Well, don't have a heart attack from not eating,
Oh,
man.
my heart.
That's not good for your heart.
My heart's in good shape.
Well, you never know. I mean, when's the last time you had your heart checked?
I go to the doctor once a year. I just went January. She said I'm her most healthiest patient. She just laughed. She goes, "Come see me next year." She just laughed. She goes, "I know what you've been through, and you're my healthiest patient." That's what's so funny.
I know.
She
tell her.
said, I know what you've done. I know where you're going, and I know where you've been,
Yeah. It's almost like, because when I go to the doctor, I mean, I don't have any bad, other than my frame's all beat up, but the motor runs good. And so they tell me the same thing. They say, man, you're in great shape as far as your heart and stuff. It's just, I got all kinds of damage to my bones and pins and stuff like that. But yeah, Craig, they're just giving you some shit, man. You ain't fat. They're just messing with you. Don't
I've
put your
never
feelings-
seen a woman I have a woman doctor, and I've never seen a man in there to see her. And I don't know why. She's on, I mean, my insurance, that's who's on my network. My doctor that I had wasn't on my network, so they changed me to her. And
Yeah.
it's cool. She's real attractive.
Well, does she check your prostate for you?
No, she's never had her finger up my butt. No.
No?
No,
Well,
she sends me for a colonoscopy.
yeah, she probably don't want to see that back
No,
there.
I'm just
Yeah,
old man. She
A
doesn't
lot of
want
women, they don't. Those women
my
doctors, they don't. You got to ask them, man. I always ask them, and I say, use another finger for a second opinion. I'm just kidding. Don't get grossed out, cake girl. Cake girl don't like cake girl. When she hears that, she don't like that talk. Then Kimmy runs wild with it. Let me see here. Vance Owen says, I saw Skynyrd. And Vance Owen, is that a new listener? I think I've heard you
I've
ask
never
the
heard of
question
Vance
before.
Owen.
Yeah. He says he saw Skynyrd in 73 in Augusta, Georgia at the Miller Theater for $1 admission. Been a fan ever since. Yeah, man, I saw him twice. I saw him in the Civic Center right before the plane crash, and man, they were just awesome. But I didn't get to see the early Skynyrd. That was before. That was even before you, Craig, in 73, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
you came 74.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that picture there looks kind of like photoshopped or something.
Yeah.
Does Alan have a drink there, or is that your drink cup?
That's mine.
About to say, that looks like a modern drink cup that Alan's drinking out of there. Here's a good one. Rick Walker says, Ronnie was a bully, and he only picked on younger guys in the band that he knew he could beat up. Artemis could whip Ronnie's ass, and Ronnie never mess with Artemis. And he says Artemis kicked Ronnie's ass when he cut Gary's hand. And then S.J. Goody replied and said, I heard Artemis, he said, I heard Artemis tried, but Ronnie whooped up on him. But there was a lot more that Rick Walker was talking about in there, and I didn't.
No, Artemis and Ronnie never did get into it. Yeah, Artemis was tough, man. I don't think Ronnie could have taken Artemis. Artemis is freaking good shape, man. I mean, Artemis was in freaking good shape.
Yeah, I mean, he was jumping on those horses, without a saddle and just bareback riding those horses out there.
Artemis had a six-pack. He was in good shape, man.
Yeah, those drummers, man. He's still in good shape, even though a lot of people don't realize Artemis.
He impresses me, man. He's a couple years older than me, and I couldn't get up there and play drums like that.
And a lot of people don't realize Artemis has got a lift in one of his shoes because when they broke his leg, they cut some of that bone out, and now he has to wear a lift in his shoe. That might be his bass pedal foot too. I think
it is.
It is. So Artie's got some injuries, man, but he did that on a motorcycle. Ronnie Parker says there's a very interesting interview with Strawberry Alarm Clock. He said lots of skin formation in there. Yeah, I'll have to Google that. I think I've already seen that. You know what's crazy? If you listen to the Strawberry Alarm Clock, you can hear that a little bit of Lynyrd Skynyrd in there because of Ed King. You can hear it. It does. It sounds a little bit like Lynyrd Skynyrd in some of that. Go listen to that Strawberry Alarm Clock music, man, and you're going to go, that's early Lynyrd Skynyrd right there. And that just shows you how big of an influence Ed had on the band, too. So
I don't think that I've ever heard anything but Incense and Peppermint.
Oh, yeah, they've got other songs you can listen to. Yeah, and you can hear that Ed King guitar in there, man. It's got that signature sound to it, man. It's really cool. The guy was amazing. Okay, now let's move along here. David Hester says, Bob's hair sticking out straight the way it did on the second helping looks like he was electrocuted. Remember we were talking about that last week, Craig?
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
and I was talking about. Somebody asked me, what was it that you saw in the in that Lynyrd Skynyrd concert that was something that was memorable? And I remember it wasn't Bob Burns' hair because he wasn't around then, but those guys' hair, man, they were like the biggest freaks there, that I'd ever seen, especially Alan. There was some really freaky. I mean, I knew guys with long hair, but those guys, I mean, they were like, they were really flying the freak flag back then. Homer Hancock says, Craig, please send me my prize. This is a special request.
You're getting it, Homer.
Yeah, it's moving along, man. There you go. See, we had a huge update. And then
Homer, all you were supposed to get was a coin and one other thing. You're getting all shitload of stuff.
And then Kimmy says, happiness does not come in a box, but lying will put you in one. Okay, Kimmy, what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
You calling Craig a liar? And he's going to go in the box?
I ain't going out of no box. I'm going to be cremated. I ain't going to be put in no box.
She's just not talking about you, Craig. And then the last comment here is Tina Oresco says, great job, Griff, on the trip to Miami. I watched that video, and she thought I did a good job on that. Can't wait to see Joe Crimp. Oak Tree, you're in my way. And she says, we need Paul Abraham and Mike Estes back on podcast, which you talked to Paul Abraham, didn't you, Craig?
I did, yeah, I did, yeah. I told him I wanted to get him on the show, and when he didn't before he didn't want to come on unless Mike was on, and I told him we'd been having a hard time getting through to Mike, and he goes, well, who else could I go on with? He goes, how about Pops? I goes, well, Pops kind of doing his own show now, some kind of a tone thing. He's doing his own thing, I said. And so he said, well, man, I might go on my own. I might do a short one on my own. So, yeah, we might do that. Have him on.
Okay, well, we'll contact, because he's not doing very well.
Yeah, he said stay in touch.
Yeah, he's he's having issues with the cancer, and he's been fighting that for a while, which...
says he feels good, though.
Yeah, that's
good.
He
says he feels good, yeah.
All right, Craig. Well, I guess we can wrap it up, and a happy Monday. I hope everybody has a good week, and you didn't eat too much Easter candy like I did. I probably need to go on a 60-hour. How many hours you going, Craig?
I'm about 52 or something like that. I'm going 72. 3 days. 3 days. I don't want to go any more than 3 days.
Yeah, I ate some jelly beans and some chocolate kisses and some eggs and a chocolate rabbit.
You didn't have no peeps?
No, I didn't have any peeps, but I'm glad I didn't have any peeps, because
I guess they got all kind of different. Those are a thing or something. They got a bunch of different flavors of peeps that people get into.
Yeah, they've got that bug dye in there now. Anything that's red, it's bugs, crushed up bugs, I hear.
Yeah.
You heard that, right, Craig?
Oh, yeah, yeah. God, I've been hearing that you're not supposed to touch when you go to when the register kicks out your receipt.
Oh, the receipt, yeah.
Yeah, they got poison in them. When you touch them, it goes into your skin.
They're trying to kill us, man. Everything we do, everything. Yeah,
You're not supposed to touch your
This
receipt.
is information purposes only.
Just
we don't want to go
FYI, you might want to take
podcast and
if you want the receipt, you might want to take a pair of rubber gloves or a tissue with you to grab the receipt.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. It's been working, so. So happy trails, and we'll see you next Monday.
Until we meet again, and see you later after gay alligator, after wild crocodile, and that was 303 of the Stoned Roadie Show. And this is Craig Reed, your host, and this is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin, and we're out of here.